Sage Forsaken here, and today we're looking at the Core Elite 3-pack, including the new arrival of Shrapnel. Now this 3-pack only comes with one of the new figures, but it is our army builder. So we're going to be looking at that in better detail to see what's going on with Shrapnel. Back of the package, of course, talks about the Tech Wars, and basically has some cool artwork where everybody's fighting in a big battle. The it's cool. If you really want to hear more about it, you can always listen to it on another channel. I'm sure somebody's read it off before. Anyway, I'm going to open this package up. We're just going to look at the army builder in here and the drone, just because those are the things that interest most people the most. Of course, I am currently casting a head to replace the head that's on the Rucker figure for this set because, quite frankly, Rucker's been out for years and most of us have too many of him. So I'm looking to cast a head to go on that body, and I'm actually casting a Reaper head and a gas mask head right now. Hopefully those work out, but I've never cast anything before to make a replica, so we'll see. Anyway, let me pause the video so we can go ahead and get this package opened up. And we're back. So, Shrapnel, much like Reaper, has this painted on area of his mask where essentially it's like a skull mask like you would see military people wearing. He's wearing goggles. The helmet is basically firmly sculpted to the figure. It's not a separate piece. It is a army builder because you can't see his face. So Shrapnel, even though they did give him a kind of a backstory, he is his own. Like, you can buy a bunch of these. Even if you're not that into the new core figures or anything, it's always great to have a bunch of goons to have around, and these guys actually are articulated. Now, as you can see, his arm does go all the way around. He basically has the same exact body articulation as far as arms and everything as some of the other core figures we've looked at, but I want to make sure to go through it just to make sure I'm not missing anything. So, of course, you have swivel. It's a little tight when it's pulled all the way out like that. Swivel at the elbow. Swivel at the shoulder. It will go all course down, and you can be sure there's some like an insignia patch there. On his back, it looks like he's wearing a backpack. It is a screw hole, and of course insignia patch there, so you know these arms are not on backwards or anything weird like that. Some people are complaining they don't like the way Smoke's arms look the way they are. But I think they're really supposed to be sculpted the way they come. This is a different chest piece than the recoil or the trick shot, because you can say there's nowhere to put the gun right here. I mean, a lot of it looks similar, but it's not exactly the same. It looks like he's got a subgun on his, a pistol already in his holster. Instead of having a holster to put the pistol in that he came with. Now, he did come with a pistol, and that holster is on his hip. So this pistol, of course, does look kind of like a real pistol. It's got, what I like about the new core figures and the new core line is the guns are more realistic instead of really sci-fi. You can see with the older figures here, a lot of the guns went very sci-fi. And I'm sure that was because they were moving away from the military aspect of the figures. This gun can be held by the figure in his hand. And of course, that means that you can have him standing over somebody with a gun. You can, of course, put the gun in his holster, which is one of the great things they've made about the core figures. They try to make it where they can hold their weapons and gear so that you don't have a situation where I have all this gear, but I can only hold one or two things at once. This particular figure, it's like the legs do go up, and of course the bends at the knee. This is a ball joint, so it does go out a little bit. It's not just like T-crotch. Of course, some people have had some issues with some of the ball joints coming loose. Just be aware that basically don't really force it, because I've even had one person say on Armando D's channel that basically they broke off the plastic piece that's in between the legs here holding this together. But overall, since you're paying basically $5 for a figure, if you think about it, you know, it's really hard to find a new figure for $5. I mean, this is a good deal. His gun is in the holster here. It's made so that the gun can be pulled in and out without much trouble. And you don't have to worry about it falling really, because you can see I have them upside down even. And only the gun, that's how good it is. That's really a good detail in the way. Now, as far as this gun, it has a scope. It is a more realistic looking rifle here. It does have a peg on the side so that it can peg into his back. And unlike I want to say the smoke figure, because they have that hump on the back that sticks out a little bit, this stays in a little bit better. A little bit better. It wouldn't even stay in at all with the smoke figure. So basically, if you really want to use this, I say two things. First of all, if you really want to use this peg feature as far as to hold your guns, you may want to consider trimming the peg down a little shorter, because it's not really, it sticks out a little bit longer than it needs to. Now, the other thing you can do, of course, is you can put some poster putty in there, so that when the tack that holds the poster up, so when you jam it in there, there's not as much loose space, especially if you were displaying a bunch of soldiers with rifles not being held. You can see that he does have the nano machines running down his arm on that side to show that he is a curse soldier. Now let's look at the other thing. One of the other things that comes in the box here, it comes with a little mini drone. The mini drone, the wings do close and open, which I just already opened them. It says the curse on it, showing that this drone is a curse drone, so they can, you know, either fly over and shoot at other targets. Maybe they're shooting nano machines at targets. Who knows? It does come unattached from this piece. It pegs right in, stays in place pretty good. I had to pull it a little bit to get it to come out, but then this is flying through the air. And basically, you could basically have a whole story where they have a bunch of these, since they come with the 3-packs. Some of the 3-packs come with this. If you get enough of these, you could have like a whole story where they got all these nanovirus drones they have to stop. It does have sculpting on both sides, but only application of paint or stickers on the other. Decals or stickers. The other thing to note is that it is hollow underneath. So if you were doing shots for, you know, you'd want to be careful about getting too low of a shot, because that would look kind of funny. But pretty good. Pretty cool little extra instead of having to have a 43rd motorcycle. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. I hope you are interested in these new core figures. My name is Sage Forsaken, and pour on the plastic.